Nation of Fit in 10, it is day 60, 10 days to go, and pretty much there's not much you can do. If you failed, you failed. I'm just kidding. I couldn't resist saying that. That was purely just a joke. Listen, we still got about 12 days, okay, before your next scan, and so we still have almost 2 weeks. So yeah, you can still make some good change. You may not think you can, but you can. Just stick to it and keep going. And you have more information today than you did in day one. You have a better understanding of what to do. Just stick with it, and believe me, you can see change every single day. Literally, you can see change every single day. This I know. I promise you. Okay, just stick to your guns. Submit and commit to the challenge, and do everything you got to do, especially at this point, man, because your calories are pretty low. Okay, a lot of your calories are, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're not that low, but you know, they're still pretty low. I mean, I know a lot of you are quite hungry right now, and that's normal. Okay, when you start to go into this level of deficit, you're going to feel hungry, which brings me to my next point, which I didn't really answer this person's question. And they were asking me about things that will help to make them feel more satiated and full. Of course, I always I remind you guys that protein and fat and fiber will help to do this, but maybe you want some more concrete examples of this. But even before that, you know, probably one of the best things you can do is to add foods that add volume without adding too many calories. Okay, one of my favorite go-tos when I'm getting really hungry, and I know you might think this is gross, but it's sauerkraut. I know I've already talked about this, but this is like super good for your gut. If you can incorporate some of this daily, really, really important as a probiotic for your gut. That is the good bacteria that will feed your belly. And there is more and more evidence coming out, literally on a probably weekly basis, more and more evidence to suggest that, not always the case, but quite often the case, that your gut health is related to your mental health, which is very interesting. Okay, so part of that is having enough pre and probiotics, which I talked about in a few videos ago. But not to go off topic here, this is great. There's hardly any calories in here. I make a little mixture. This, along with a bit of Parmesan. Parmesan's great for adding flavor, some cheesy flavor. I add this together with some avocado, a little bit of Nando's peri peri sauce, which is basically no calories, and some chopped up chicken breast, and I mix that together, and it's super good. It's like a slightly spicy, cheesy, low-cal dish. Okay, I think depending on how much chicken you put in, because that's really where the calories are going to come from. Well, and the avocado to some degree. You know, you can have a nice bowl of this. You can add more sauerkraut than what I've listed. I think I put the recipe up in Slack. Okay, now here's something else that you can have. You've probably seen these before. They're so popular with quote diets, but they're not bad because they are voluminous and there's very little calories in these, 35 in each one. These are just pure carbs, but you put a little bit of nut butter on this. And it can go a long way. Now, if you don't have nut butter, you can make something like this. Not make this, you can buy this, but you can, this is peanut butter powder. Okay, dehydrated peanut butter powder. You can actually add a bit of, like, put this in a bowl, add a bit of water to it, and make it into a paste. And it's a much lower calorie version of like any sort of nut butter. Not quite as good, obviously, but not bad. And you can put it on this. I talked about oatmeal before the other day. Oatmeal, making oatmeal in water, adding extra water. I basically add as much water as I can. I usually do a 4-to-1 ratio of water to oatmeal. So if I add in 1/2 ounce of oatmeal, which isn't very much, and then I'm going to put in 6 ounces of water into that. Okay, so it's like going to be super, super, you know, drenched in water, essentially, almost like what it would look like when you make rice. And then just cook that in the microwave forever, and it will blow up. Okay, so that's going to add some more volume. This right here, I haven't talked about this yet. This is xanthine gum. You can make some really interesting ice creams with protein powder, a little bit of banana just for flavoring, or even berries, okay? So I'll put up a recipe, but one off the top of my head, I'll have to put it together and just double check on this, but a little bit of almond milk, I think like a quarter cup. Let's say a quarter of a banana, frozen, a scoop of protein powder, a tiny bit of this. Like how much? Like maybe half a teaspoon, if that, a third of a teaspoon. This will thicken up the mixture, okay? Then you can add in something like this to give some nut flavoring, some peanut butter flavoring, I should say. If you have like the Quattro chocolate peanut butter powder, which somebody just bought that today actually from me, you can make like a really good chocolate peanut butter ice cream. And it's not like, yeah, okay, it doesn't taste like Ben & Jerry's or Ernest, but it tastes pretty good, okay? You could throw in a little bit of really dark chocolate into that as well and make yourself a really good ice cream. So if you take one of those big, giant, not giant, I wish they were bigger, the, you know those shaker cups, the bullets, the magic bullets, those cups, you put in, say, about 250, 300 calories worth of ingredients, okay? And this is mainly just being protein powder, okay? So let me just run through that again. You say you add in, let's say, how much of this? You add in 2 tablespoons of this, you add in a scoop of protein powder, you add in some xanthine gum, a quarter of a banana, and a little bit of almond milk. You have about 250 calories, probably a little bit under 250 calories, mainly just all protein, and you will fill that cup. It will be like an ice cream malt. Super good, and it will help to fill you up, okay? What else? Berries and vegetables sounds lame, but incorporating berries and vegetables, these again are low calorie foods. Big salads make a big difference. Popcorn is a great way to go, all right? So keep some of these in mind. All right, 7.5 minutes. Message of the day. Well, it's not really a message of the day. It's more of a quote, and so I'm going to read it to you. It comes from somebody by the name of Shelby Starnes. He's sort of in the fitness industry, sort of like a very popular diet guru. You could call him that. He's really just a coach. Anyways, it goes like this. He says, "You won't get rich investing in some stocks, freaking out over day-to-day fluctuations, then exiting, never to return. You need to have a sensible plan and learn to stay the course. You won't get rich from the sidelines, heckling those doing the real work, the ones taking the blows and eventually reaping the rewards. You do it by entering the ring, getting punched, learning how to roll with it. He says bodybuilding efforts. I'm going to say your fat loss efforts will be the same, because it's the same thing, essentially. Progress will not be linear. It will have ups and downs. It will have zigzags. The plateaus and crashes will always last longer than you'd like. Zoom out to a bigger perspective, though, and you'll see that these are just temporary fluctuations of an upward trend, or perhaps a downward trend, depending how you want to look at it. So long as you stay the game, okay? You'll eventually learn to get stronger from adversity rather than just endure it, and that's when the real prosperity starts. Okay, so listen, out of all of this, I don't want you to get consumed with, well, should I be eating 130 or 140 grams of protein? Like, which one's going to be better? Or, should it be, lower carb or medium carb? The idea here is to, when it comes to your diet going forward, and I am going to stress to you, unless you don't care going forward, okay? But if you are somebody who is trying to lose body fat and you struggle with this, I'm going to suggest that you always remain methodical, that you log everything and you have a record and you have some sort of a plan. The plan doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, you will never know if it's perfect. But the idea is to know where you stand, like I've said this before, to know where you stand, to stay with it for some period of time, at least 3 weeks, And if you don't see the change that you want to see, to make certain adjustments to that, okay? And part of this is riding it out for some time, okay? Don't expect miracles overnight. The idea, again, is to stick with it over the long term, and then try to self-reflect as much as you can. Observe what you're doing, observe how your body's doing with it, and make appropriate adjustments with that. Now, that being said, these adjustments should always be small. And again, when it comes to fat loss, we want to be very, very mindful of not going too low in calories, getting enough protein, always making sure that the protein is there, okay? About 30 to 35% of your calories should come from protein, okay? For those of you who are trying to lose body fat. For those of you who are trying to gain weight, that might be different, like I said, because calories can be higher. In that case, your total percentage of protein will be lower. But for those of you who have a lower caloric amount, we want to make sure that we keep that protein there, okay? And then play with your energy sources, okay? Remember, you don't want energy sources to be too low either, right? Because or else protein will get used as energy. So it's you know, playing with these numbers and being methodical, not being emotional about it. Be methodical and just observe what's going on. Believe me, there is a solution for you, okay? All right? If I could make this challenge longer, well, I guess I could. Okay, I could make it a 20-week, but I think you guys would just burn out. I mean, I already got, okay, this is turning into a rant, but I've been told by many people, just long story short, that Mike, I can't believe you run a 10-week challenge. That's absolutely retarded. But if it were longer, I would basically draw things out even further, okay? Just remember this. It has to be lifestyle-based. It has to be continuous. You are a reflection of what you do. So remember that, okay? All right. I think I've said enough. Submit, commit, positive energy, positive vibes. As always, believe in yourself. Give some daily gratitude. I'll talk to you guys soon. 10 days to go. 10 days to go. Can you believe it? It goes by fast, as I told you in the beginning, okay? We'll talk to you guys all soon. See ya.